mean, who doesn't love a good, bookish Hall of Fame? Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I'm Andrew, and today guys, we are doing my bookish booktube Hall of Fame. Basically, I am 2 years almost into this booktube journey, and I want to kind of give you, my viewer, my definitive list, I should say, of basically series that I've had pretty much no issues with. Like, if you read these series to me, they're a flawless kind of reading experience, in my opinion. I must preface, this is all my opinion. But guys, basically, you are not going to find standalones on this list. You are not going to find books that are the beginning of series but have not had sequels released, or if I've only read the first book and I haven't continued the series yet, those are not going to appear in this video. This is just stuff that I'm either up to date on, I'm multiple books into, or I just absolutely loved and adored. So, that said, we are going to kind of move on into this list. Now, I have to start this list with a good heavy hitter, and I don't own these physically. These are David Gemmell's Trilogy. This is the final series, the final trilogy that David Gemmell ever penned. He actually sadly passed away halfway through the third book, and then his wife and publisher stepped in and finished the book for him. And guys, that book and that trilogy is not only historical fantasy, but, like, it is presented in such a way that is just mind-blowing. The twists, the small reveals, if you're paying attention, just mind-blowing. The book, the action, the politics, the characters, the world building, the reinterpretation of these historical characters, because Troy follows, the Troy conflict. So, we're talking Iliad, we're talking the Odyssey with Odysseus, and just everything that's involved within those stories, presented to you in a way, and that's just pulse-pounding and fantastic. That's the one that I don't own. Next up, though, is one that is very, very cool, and that is Wistful Ascending by J.C.M. Byrne, or The Hybrid Helix. I have read all 3 of these books, and I love them to pieces. It's superhero fantasy in space, but you're not following a superhero, you're just following a guy who used to be a superhero, then kind of left the planet, joined an alien military, retired from them because he didn't like the way they made him feel, or, the person that he was becoming in their service, and so he decides to retire and just work at a space station. He works at a sentient space station, and yeah, it's kind of day in the life kind of deal, but like, because he's a superhero, his day in the life, I'm going to say superhuman being. His day in life is very, very interesting. It's got kaiju, it's got sentient spaceships, it's got superpowers, it's got battles, it's got space bears. What more do you need? Space bears! So yes, we are going to put Wistful Ascending on that list. And guys, before we move on to the next one, I'm going to give a huge thank you to my patrons. Thank you for just always being there and supporting me and helping me grow the channel. Your support means the world to me. Now, next up, I have to give a special thank you to my friend Alan over at the Library of Alexandria, because Samuel Vimes is truth. There is just something about the City Watch books that are part of the Discworld kind of series. City Watch being a sub-series of Discworld, but Terry Pratchett achieves something special, in my opinion, in the City Watch books. They are just these flawless experiences that kind of deal with very, political and societal issues in a humorous and entertaining way, all while standing up for justice and giving you a character in Sam Vimes that is just absolutely astounding. This series, this sub-series, these 8 books mean the absolute world to me. I immediately fell in love when I started reading these books. And there are a lot of people who love all of Discworld. For me, nothing else has been able to capture the magic that City Watch kind of introduced to me. So that is my crowning jewel of Discworld. I may try another one, but for me, those 8 books, very special. And then this one, people are either going to agree or you're going to disagree. And that's fine. That's going to be Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne. Recommended to me pretty much at the start of my booktube career by Mike from Mike's Book Reviews. And guys, I mean, these 4 books, say what you will, but they are just fascinating. They're pulse-pounding, they're hard-hitting, the twists, the action. It's kind of lower fantasy, where, like, there's not a whole bunch of magic, but there are, like, you know, it's got giants, it's got giant wolves, it's got battles, it's got gods, it's got demons. It's just awesome. I actually want to reread this now. I just talked myself into that, didn't I? We'll see what happens. Next up, we have got, again, because of Mike, Sun Eater, Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. And I really loved book 1. But, you know, at the same time, like, it reminded me of a bunch of series. By book 2, Christopher Rocchio finds his authorial voice, just grabs you by the scruff of your neck, and pulls you in. He's like, you're gonna love this. I mean, just, Sun Eater. If you want anxiety, if you want great action, if you want great politics, great aliens, cultural clashes, just just fantasy, space opera ideas done in a fantastic way. Like, I'm grabbing my hair in excitement. I cannot recommend Sun Eater enough. I need to do some content on Sun Eater. Maybe I can get Christopher Rocchio here on the channel. That would be cool. That would be fun. I should probably do that. I might do that. You know what? Christopher, if you're watching, hit me up. I might ping you. Who knows? Next up, Surprising Nobody. And I'm sorry, Alan, but again, Pug is awesome and you're 100% wrong. We are going to be doing Raymond E. Feist's Magician. This is the Rift War Saga. Is it Rift War? I always get this mixed up because there's the Rift War Saga and then there's the Rift War whatever, world. But the 4 books that make up Rift War, which we're going to say Magician 1 and 2, we've got Silverthorn, and then we have got A Darkness at Sethanon. This is not only a diverse cast, it's classic fantasy executed in a very entertaining and unique way. I had such a great experience. This book right here is the pride of my collection because it was a wonderful gift from some great friends. I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm grateful. Guys, I love this book. If you're looking for classic fantasy that just is portal fantasy between 2 awesome and unique worlds, it's got, you know, compelling characters. And it doesn't just follow one character because like I said, we've got a diverse cast. Magician is where it's at. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Next up, Surprising Nobody. I didn't want to take out the first book, so I pulled the most recent one. We've got Cradle by Will White. And say what you will about Cradle. This introduced me into cultivation of fantasy, even though this isn't technically cultivation. This is cultivation and progression mashed together. And guys, like, this is just so entertaining. I do recommend the audiobook experience because Travis Baldree is an absolute legend and he makes these characters come to life. He brings an elevation to the story. I swear these stories get an additional half star to full star just based off of Travis Baldree's performance. And I mean, the world that we find Lyndon in and just these sacred artists, it's so cool seeing where Lyndon kind of starts to where he is here in Dreadgod. We've got one last book left in the series, and I am not ready for this to be done. I'm not ready! So yes, Cradle makes that list. Next up, we've got T.A. Bruno's The Song of Kamaria, In the Orbit of Silence, On the Winds of Quasars, and At the End of the Universe, I believe, is the 3rd book. I have talked with this author here on the channel. I'll link it up in the cards if you feel so inclined to go watch that. But guys, this is just a great kind of exodus and colonial fight for survival after humanity is forced from the Sol system and they have to flee the galaxy in order to survive an AI threat. What T.A. Bruno kind of accomplishes across all 3 books is just something awesome. It's entertaining. We've got great characters. We've got time jumps. We've just got such hard-hitting moments. I mean, each book gets a little bit darker and the stakes get a little bit higher. I mean, guys, if you like space operas, make sure to check this one out because it is just so good. All right, next up, we have got Daniel Barnett's Nightmare Land Chronicles. And I've been talking about this one since last year, I believe. It has been a while, but I will keep pushing this series. Not only are the first 5 incredibly short, you have no reason not to read the first 5. You know, I mean, book 6 is a bit thicker. I mean, it's a full-size novel. But what Daniel Barnett kind of accomplishes here is he just pulls you in with a great kind of quest story with tons of horror elements, great found family. I mean, you root for these characters. You feel for these characters. And don't get me wrong, like, it is a bit trippy at the beginning because, you know, basically the sun goes out, nightmares come to life, and if you fall asleep, you basically die. And it's just, it's so good. I cannot wait for Daniel to continue this series because, frankly, where we ended up in Lily is, I'm still not okay. But, I mean, it is just such a journey. You have a lot to look forward to. Please check it out. We've got 3 series left. We've got Bernard Cornwell's The Warlord Chronicles. This is historical fiction retelling. And guys, Durfel's awesome. Merlin's awesome. The way he interacts with just Kina Glass and Gorfethid is awesome. Guys, I recommend the audiobooks because, again, there's a name in here called Gorfethid. And I can't spell Gorfethid because it's absolutely ridiculous. But Jonathan Keeble solves that problem for you. Guys, following Durfel throughout this story because it's kind of a nested narrative tale where we're following an older Durfel who's kind of at the end of his life. He's in a monastery, and he is chronicling to his queen the tales of Arthur. And because he was there, he was one of Arthur's friends, and he just kind of tells his tale. And it's something special. And it's funny because on the front of the cover is an actual quote from the author himself. Now, Bernard Cornwell has written a lot of books. But here it says, of all the books I have written, these are my favorites. And I can see why, because these are awesome. Next up, we've got Daniel Abraham, another introduction by the long-priced prophet, Alan from the Library of Alexandria. We've got LPQ. And guys, LPQ is just character-driven fantasy at its finest. You follow Ota and Mati from when they are kids all the way up to the end of their lives. This is a quartet of books. And, I mean, it is just intricate. Like, Alan always says that Daniel Abraham had the ending planned before he wrote the first word. Because he had to have. Because in order to get there, and the consequences that you make throughout your life have far-reaching consequences. And it's awesome. And I love this story. It is special. It is amazing. I need to come back to more Daniel Abraham. I've got Age of Ash. I've got the ebooks for Dagger and Coin, I believe it's called. I need to find time to read that. So yes, LPQ, fantastic. It's awesome. And then, despite my unpopular opinion about the last 6 books, the first 9 books of the Realm of the Elderlings is something incredibly special. Get these 3 Farseer illustrated editions. They're fantastic. They're well worth their money. I think they're like $25-$30 a piece. They've got full art illustrations, full color. I mean, it's awesome. And, I mean, that map is just cool. But, guys, Farseer is awesome. Again, very, very detailed, very nuanced, character-driven fantasy within the Farseer. Now, Lifeship's a bit different, and then we come back to Fitz in Tawny Man. But guys, if you want to follow somebody through the struggles of their life, where they struggle with identity, where they struggle with self-worth, where they struggle to fit in throughout their entire life, Farseer is a great analysis. And Robin Hood has crafted an entire world where with each book, a little bit more of that lore and that history and that magic is revealed to you, the reader. It is something special. Now guys, I must once again reiterate, this is only completed series. This is not following standalones. This is not following books that I've only read the first entry into a series. These are the ones that I am current on or far enough into that I can make this judgment call. These are my Hall of Fame series. I love these. And as I continue to make content here on BookTube, hopefully this list will not only grow and expand, but be filled with just tons of great series. That said, guys, that is all I have got for you here today. So till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.